Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. So today's video is going to be a lesson from my new long-awaited violin book 3, which takes us from lessons 21 to 30. Now I have to say that this is a true masterpiece. These are probably the best books I have written to date, even if I do say so myself. Comparing them to everything else that I have written, these are very, very comprehensive books. However, they have still been written for the self-learner in mind. And I can tell you guys right now that nothing online in the world exists like this. So these books come in 2 parts. So these are lessons 21 to 30, but I have split them into 2 parts. And the reason being is that this part 1 talks about third position. So this is lessons 21 to 25. And the second part talks about bowing techniques. You cannot buy these books separately. Once you buy the book, you get both of these. They don't really have anything to do with each other, so I have just simply separated them out into 2 books just for the purpose of clarifying that. In addition to these 2 books, as per usual, they will come with a songbook 3, and it is very, very advisable that you buy songbook 3. So on my shop, you will be able to buy these books, which are lessons 21 to 30, and you will be able to buy book 3 separately for $9.99. That's US dollars as well. However, you'll be able to buy them in a combo deal, all 3 books together, to save yourself a little bit of money. So everything you see here is going to be linked in the description bar underneath this video to purchase, and these are downloadable books only. I want to make that very, very clear. There is nothing physical to ship out, as with any of the books on my shop. They are 100% downloadable, so as soon as you've purchased, you just get straight on downloading and off you go. So I really hope you enjoy these next set of 10 lessons, and let's get into the lesson. So lesson 28 is all about double stopping, and double stopping is a technique of playing 2 notes simultaneously, which is not really the norm on the violin, but it is on the piano. But essentially it's... So those are just open strings that I've played there, but you can play other notes, for example, and that is double stopping. You can play chords on the violin, but we're just going to be talking about double stopping, which is 2 notes played simultaneously, because I feel that is the most crucial and the most beneficial. Chords just come up every now and then, maybe at the end of a piece of music or maybe even the start of a piece of music, but they're generally not played throughout, whereas you could get a passage in a Mozart concerto, for example, where you've got a whole 8 bars or a whole 8 measures all playing in thirds, which is double stopping, and then you're going to be in trouble if you don't know how to do that or you haven't been used to doing that. Double stopping is where you would stop 2 notes together, triple stopping is where you play 3 notes, and quadruple stopping, possibly known as chords, would be 4 notes, and that was what I just showed you a minute ago. So that's quadruple stopping because you're playing 4 notes or 4 strings. Double stopping can be as easy as difficult as they come, depending on the key of a piece that the music is in and or the notes you are being asked to play. So we're going to be starting out with something relatively, I say relatively easy. Double stopping is not easy, but relatively easy in terms of double stopping. We're going to be starting out with some relatively easy double stopping to do whilst working our way up and using scales and exercises to play more complicated double stopping. Be aware that double stopping can be quite difficult to do, as both fingers must be precisely on the string, exactly where it should do in order for it to sound nice, and also you need to hit the bow on the 2 strings that you want to isolate as well. So far up until now we've spent all our time trying to isolate 1 string without hitting any of the others, and now I'm asking you to play 2 strings, which can come with its own complications, and it's not too tricky, but the key is a flat bow and to stay consistent so that you constantly stay on those 2 strings and don't waver between 2 strings. If you do play a lot of double stopping, it won't then hinder your ability to isolate a string when you want to play. That's something you've been doing for a really, really long time, so I wouldn't worry about double stopping hindering you going back to playing single notes in any way, shape or form. So for this next part of the video, where I'm going to be talking about demonstration, tips, exercises, pieces, and breaking down exactly how I'm going to be teaching you double stopping, is going to be linked in this part of the book here to those of you who have bought the book. To those of you who haven't bought the book and you are maybe thinking of buying the book, then here are a few little snippets of what I talk about in lesson 28 for double stopping. So we're going to jump straight into double stopping by playing La Danse du Dragon on page 16. So what you want to make sure when you're doing this is that you've got a flat bow, a finger 2 on the D string for an F sharp, and you had a 1 on the A string. So now you've got to be careful that that second finger, so here is the scale. It can be quite hard on your fingers, so be careful with that. So now we move on to playing in 6. And then moving on to the last exercise.